Oh, yeah. Make sure to follow the Front Forum Focus podcast.
Great. And bye. It was a very,
Bye.
it was a pleasure talking to you. And I'll
Okay,
be
same here.
getting back to you. And
Yeah.
people should not forget to attend your events, the virtual events. Maybe you'll give us the link of where
Yeah,
we,
I'll be sure to give you the link.
yeah, of where we will check it out. Yeah.
We gon' party till it's over, yeah. Party till it's over. We gon' party till it's over, yeah. Party till it's over. Oh no, 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 no. I don't wanna let you go, go, go. I'm gonna make you my boo boo, yeah, yeah.
Today we're having Pranjay Kumar. So, a general question before we start: how is the COVID-19 situation in your area?
Well, there used to be very strict lockdown, but everything's sort of slowly opening now. Restaurants are open. It's just everybody has personal preference of whether they want to go out or not. Slowly things are getting better.
So, where are you at right now?
Um,
Location.
can you repeat that?
But where are you? Where are you located?
Oh, New Jersey, United States.
So, yeah, cool. So you recently changed the leadership in your country.
Yes.
How is that going for you?
Oh, when the presidential change, it is a big deal, but it doesn't really affect your local policies as much, right?
Oh,
Your day-to-day life doesn't change. It's just what's happening at the national level. It's kind of happening in the background. Besides, the only thing that it really affects is the tax situation, but it doesn't affect where you go to work or how that really, or anything along those lines. Those are usually dictated by a local and state government.
so you're saying there's no big change.
Not really. Unless you want to take a look at the news outlets, those have definitely shifted from negative Trump bashing to a sort of pro Biden supporting. But other than that, I can't really see much of a difference.
Oh, so great. So let's talk about you right now. What are you doing to change the community?
Sure. So I'm 17 years old and I'm hosting a TEDx youth event to try and help students around my age become more familiar with perspectives that they wouldn't really see in the classroom, right? Because in school we only learn so much, we can only see so much, and this really isolates us to the community of people that we know. So I want to help students expand on that and just see things and learn more about the world.
So when you said like you want to help students see you want to see you are helping them to see the real community that is out there, mm, except that of their school. Right?
The question cut out a little. Can you please repeat it?
So I'm asking what is the main objective? Can you clarify the main objective of your
Sure. So in school, we learn the same subjects and we're only introduced to the ideas of our teachers, our classmates, our parents, and people in the community around us. But the world is much bigger than just our local school, our local town. And we often assimilate ourselves with people that share our same viewpoints. I want to help students realize that there are a variety of viewpoints out there. It isn't just centralized to what we believe. There's a variety of stories. There's a variety of people out there whose stories you should know, and you should be more aware of what's happening in the world around you and not just what's happening directly in front of you.
Yeah. So what motivated you to think about this event?
Well, I noticed that in my community, a lot of people didn't know a lot things happening on, say, the other side of the world, or didn't understand that there were other perspectives out there when it came to some political issues, or didn't understand why certain people believed in certain things. So I just really want to shed light on that and help people understand the other side of the argument. And that kind of evolved into what I explained before.
So before you made this event happen, who are your mentors and people who inspired you?
Okay. In my school, my classmates have held this kind of event for the past 2 years under the school umbrella, but I wanted to hold this event on my own, so I thought that I might as well just go for it and apply for a license. I got the license, the Tedx license, so I just went for it. And really,
So sorry for your interruption, but most of us don't know about the TEDx license and how you actually get to TEDx. So can you actually give us a brief?
Sure. So in order to hold a TEDx event, you have to apply for a license. This involves filling out an application, answering a few questions, and it's a long application. It took me a few days to really just sit down and do it. And it involves, why do you want to hold the event? How many people do you want to hold it for? What are your motivations? Why do you specifically want to hold a TEDx event? And as I was answering these questions, I realized that I really just wanted to help people understand the world around them better, to show them that what connects us is more than what really divides us in the world.
So yeah, cool. So you are actually going to be involved with the TEDx that we see on their channel, right?
Can you repeat that? It didn't come clear.
You're going to be featured in the TEDx we see on YouTube.
Yes, all the talks are put on the YouTube channel, the TEDx YouTube channel.
So tell me, what are the positive things you can say about the TEDx meetings?
Sure. If you look on the TEDx YouTube channel, you'll see that there's over 100,000 talks. A lot of them really just show you perspectives that you really aren't familiar with. You can find a TEDx talk on almost anything, right? Let me get some examples. There are talks on what can I say to help you really grasp the set of what really encompasses a TEDx talk? There are TEDx talks on business and how new trends can help your business, how things that you've always done can hurt your business. There are talks on refugee stories. There are performances by poets, by dancers. There's teachers sharing their perspectives. There are many things. There's people who are leaders in their field showing maybe a future innovation that'll affect us all within the next decade. And then there's people asking questions that you wouldn't ever think to ask. Can music save lives? Is an example of one that I recently watched. And it really just helps you connect yourself with things that you wouldn't normally see. And it just helps you expand on your worldview and become less insular within your own little bubble. Expand.
Yeah, cool. So, I like talking about the Tedx and your interview. So, what goal do you have after doing that interview? What is your
Well, I really just set out to do this so I could help my classmates, but it's grown to a fairly large event. And my goal after holding this event would be to see if, one, we can help inspire people across the nation. The US is mainly our target, but we do have several attendees from other countries. If we can just inspire them to really just go out and see the world through a different perspective, and to understand another side of an argument maybe, and not just see them as a black box that they can't understand. I'll give you an example. In America, we often criticize those who don't want to get vaccinated for many things. We call them anti-vaxxers, but we don't often see why they believe the things that they believe. I'm not supporting that perspective at all. It is easily refutable. But what you have to understand is that that kind of perspective doesn't come in one day. So by understanding that perspective better, you can help those kinds of people see reason. And you can, instead of just framing them as dumb, stupid, ignorant, you can help them, you can understand them, and you can really just become a better person out of that. Because the more you understand the world around you, the more of a global citizen you become in that sense.
so? So, can you tell us about some of your strengths, maybe that helped you have the courage to come and say that I want to do this event?
Sure. I think the main thing that people have to get over is just a fear of rejection, right? One thing that will happen to you, no matter who you are or where you are in life, is you will get rejected for something. And at one point, you just have to realize that it will happen. And for me, at that point, I was just trying to find some way to impact my community. I was just trying to find some way where I could go out and help people more than just in my school, more than just in my community. So I found TEDx, I found the license. I thought this was a great way for me to get involved, and it took me a while to finally hit that submit button because I was worried that this would be a big thing if I could do it. I was worried I wouldn't get any signups, but eventually I just said, screw it, let me do it. And if I fail, I fail. I would have learned something from it. So I think just initially getting over that hurdle was the best thing. But once I did, I contacted people that I wasn't even sure I would get for speakers, but they replied back. I contacted people that I thought were well above who I should be contacting, and they said yes. So I think this applies for networking in general. Just go out there and put yourself out there. Not everybody's going to come back to you, but someone will eventually.
Yeah, cool. So, tell me about one achievement that you're proud of.
One achievement that I'm proud of. I think that the main thing that I'm proud of, it's small, but in school, I'm very passionate about personal finance and helping people just understand how financial markets work, how the economy works, and how they can best prepare themselves to help their future children and grandchildren just develop that kind of wealth. I think what I'm most proud of is just this year I started teaching a personal finance class in my school's investment club. And this was really eye-opening for a lot of students because they didn't realize what was happening in the world and financial markets. They would see the stock market, they would go, oh, it goes up, down, and they wouldn't understand what it is. But by just sitting down with them and teaching them that you should be saving some money, you should be investing some, you should have a rainy day fund, you should try and do whatever you can to not go into debt. You should try and have a plan. If you do go into debt, you should have a plan to get out of it. You shouldn't just spend money on this or spend money on that without realizing the full costs of it. I think just teaching kids that was really eye-opening to them because in my experience, personal finance is not hard, it's just not well known. And once people know it, they immediately realize that they don't have to be stuck living paycheck to paycheck. So I think what I'm most proud of is just giving a few kids that initial boost, that initial push to help them make sound financial decisions later on in life.
So are you planning to be an entrepreneur in the future?
Get into what?
No, entrepreneurship.
Honestly, I'm not sure what I want to do in my future. I'm just trying to experiment. I mean, this TEDx is, after all, an experiment for me. It's to do a variety of things. You have to do a variety of things when you host this kind of event, and just to kind of dip my toes in and see whether I like this. I'm trying to explore, get internships. I'm talking to people in a variety of industries, just trying to, sit down, maybe go on a Zoom call with them for 30 minutes and just talk to them, ask them what they do, what they need to do in order to get to that career, what it involves day to day, with the workload. So I'm just trying to look and see what is possible. Entrepreneurship is definitely on the table for me. I have talked to a few business owners and I am definitely interested in it, but I don't want to give a definite answer.
Yeah, so can you briefly take us around your education, like the curriculum in your country?
My country, sure. So I go to a specialized engineering high school in New Jersey. It's very selective, but most people in the education system have to go through a series of 12 grades. So they go through kindergarten, then they go through first grade through 12th grade. And when they go from 9th grade to 12th grade in high school, they're usually exposed to a variety of subjects. And based upon this, they have to do the core curriculum such as history, English, mathematics, science. And based on this, they usually either they take up a trade school, they take up a trade such as being an electrician, being a plumber right after high school, or they go to college and they pursue what they want in the degree. Do you have any other questions to help me clarify? I know that I kind of just threw a lot of information at once.
No, actually, I asked you the question because in my country we have like a different curriculum.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 844. No, 844, like it's just the same way you said 12 grades, but you see, as we have the high school, it's different. So you
Mm-hmm.
just take 4 years in high school, then you go 4 years degree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So which brings me to the other question: What are you enjoying right now in your education?
Right now I'm not on vacation. Right now I'm in school.
Yeah. I'm saying what are you enjoying in your education right now?
Oh, education. Sorry,
Yeah.
I misheard. Right now I think what I'm really enjoying is the rigor of this differential equation class that I'm taking. I tested out of the regular math class, meaning I did a test saying, and I passed saying that I completed the 12th level in 10th. So I'm right now doing differential equations, which is usually college level in the US. And it's very interesting to me because it's really modeling the mathematics of everything in life, right? With differential equations, you can model how wind moves, you can model vibrations, you can model anything where you can grab just a few data points for and figure out how it relates to one another, if that makes sense.
Yes. So, that's a great thing, identifying what you love in school, because it will come to help you decide on what to do in your future.
Definitely.
Yeah, so like I want to ask you like one question. What does success mean to you?
What does success mean to me? I just want to make sure I heard that right.
Yes.
Okay. Well, in this world, we often see money and success being equated. Now, money is important, but at least in the US, studies have shown that after you reach a certain income level, your happiness is not correlated with your income. Sure, if you're earning if you're at the 5% mark versus the 50% mark, the 50% mark is generally more happy than those who are living at the 5% mark of income. But at a certain point, you have to ask yourself whether getting that extra raise or earning more money is really going to help you become more happy in life. So success for me means just living a comfortable life where I can come home every day and just enjoy life simply by just doing nothing. Where I want to live a life where I can help people and make my mark on the world enough that when I die, someone will remember me and I will have left the world better than I found it.
Cool. So for you to have actually made it to TEDx, you must have been unique and been having some great qualities. So what will you tell other youth, who want to get to host the event on TEDx?
Sure. So applying for the TEDx is not hard at all. If you search a TEDx application on the Google, right, it'll lead you to um, a application page. There are several different types of TEDx event. There's standard events. There's university. So if you want to do it under your school, there are business events if you want to do it under a business. There are employee events. There are library events if you want to do it under a library, and there are just several different events that you can, several different types of events you can host. Once you choose the kind of event you host, just you fill out the application. First, you fill out your personal information, then you fill out potential names that you want to do. Then you will want to provide some background information on why you chose that name, why you wanted to hold the event. And then you have to come up with a location, a potential location for the event. But after that, after you fill out all that information, you send it in. One more thing I should mention, if you're under 18, you need someone who is over 18 to host the event with you. Otherwise, you can host it alone. That's it. After that, you wait 6 to 8 weeks for them to get back to you with approval or disapproval. Now, what happened to me was we had to go back and forth because there were a few issues with the application. But once we got it through, it was just that we had free reign to just set the date and do what we needed to do. Now they provide you a lot of help with how to host the event and what to do, but really it's on your own to find speakers and just go along and just do everything that you need to do to host the event.
So do you fund the event?
Can you repeat the question?
Do you fund the event?
I'm sorry, I don't think I understand the question.
I'm saying like, the event, there's the location, you need the speakers, you
Mhm.
need the equipment, the machines,
Yeah.
you need the posters, the marketing.
Mhm.
So are you funding them on your own?
Well, what we did was we went out and tried to find sponsorships, and as a lot of TEDx events do. Now, this is good for businesses because one, they can get their logo out in front of people attending the event, but also they can get their name on the talk going on the YouTube channel, and the YouTube channel does have 30 million subscribers, so there is the potential for it to reach people from all around the world and just kind of get that global thing. So what we did was we went out and got sponsorships for that, but we're also holding the event virtually because of COVID, and we all know what COVID has done. It turned our in-person events to Zoom calls. It turned our classes to the teacher telling you through a screen how to do math instead of doing it on a whiteboard in front of you. So
Yeah, actually, that was the next question to ask you because, like, right now in my country, we have a curfew. In the place that I live with, the COVID-19 situation is actually worsened. So, was it an issue for you to apply during this period?
it actually was not an issue to apply during this event. I thought it might be, but when I looked at the application, I just sent it in and they got back to me within that time. One thing that I want to mention is that they were lenient during 2020 when I applied and they allowed us to make the event virtual. So that might not be the case for you,
Yeah,
but you might as well just go ahead. I know that yeah, sorry.
when is your event?
My event is on June 6th.
Oh, so they don't like give you like okay, like one
Yeah,
month.
we moved it because of COVID. We were originally planning to hold it in March, but then because of COVID, we thought that we might be able to get more out of it and reach more people if we just held back and did it later on.
Yeah. So, how did you prepare for? How are you preparing for this event?
Well, with the virtual event, all you really need to do is, well, first you need to find speakers. So we found speakers. And second, what we need to do is help them prepare the talks. And then third, we need a venue, whether it's a virtual event or a in-person event, you need somewhere to hold it. So we've just been looking at venues. We think we found one, but I don't want to say anything just in case we change our minds on which venue to do. So we found a good venue to hold the virtual event, something that's interactive, where audiences will feel more like it's an in-person event rather than someone just on the Zoom call. And yeah, that's really what you need to do. You just need to prepare the speakers, then you need to prepare the event, and then you have to market it. So we're just trying to market using word of mouth right now and through our speakers.
So, how many speakers do you need to start an event?
Really, I've seen events with as few as 4 to 5 speakers for these. Our event has a little more.
Yeah. So, like, is there like a requirement for you to be a speaker in the TEDx?
Yeah, what you often see is if just students want to hold an event themselves, you'll see a group of students just give the talks. And that's completely fine if you're just trying to start out and hold your first event, because everybody has an interesting story to share, even if they don't know it. If you sit down and think, you can come up with an interesting story with a great takeaway, you know?
Yeah, and like, during this COVID situation, like you're a speaker on my podcast, and you're like it's a month away from where I am right now. So can you get a speaker would come and speak virtual to your event?
Well, all our speakers are speaking virtually just because I mean, the process is the same if you are getting a person if you are getting someone in person, if you're getting someone virtually, you reach out to them either through email or LinkedIn or Twitter, however you want to reach out, and you give them the details of your event, say, I'm really interested in you for this reason, and I would love to have you speak at the event.
Yeah, so is that before or after you have gotten the license?
After, because you can't do anything until you have the license.
Also, you get the license, then you get the speakers.
Mhm.
Yeah, so cool. I think my coffee is like 30 minutes to 10. So can you tell
Oh, okay.
people where they can find you?
If you want to contact me, you can DM me on LinkedIn, and I'm always open to questions or just connecting with people.